This is the Zodiac PB4-60 Polaris booster pump, which works in conjunction with your automatic Polaris pool cleaner. Out of the box, this pump comes fully assembled with the stand that it sits on attached. It also comes with 2 quick connection points and about 4 foot of Polaris reinforced hose. It's a pretty simple install, whereas once the other pump that you have before this is uninstalled, you simply return the electrical conduit and reattach it with a simple nut, electrical nut that goes into the motor. There's 2 screws that hold an access panel on the back of this pump. You make your electrical connections, you put the 2 screws back on, return your panel back into place, and then for the plumbing side, it's pretty simple. However, you do need some thread seal tape to screw in these quick connection points into your pump head on either side, and then also put some on the threads that hold in this piece here, this quick connection. As you put your pump hose, your Polaris hose on there, push it down, and then you'll have the thread tape on there, and you just screw these down. It's a compression style fitting, so it holds it in place once this is tightened up and secured. Should provide very, very good seal and no leaks. Let's take a look at this pump in comparison to the pump that it replaced, because this is an area that I have looked at and have concerns about. First of all, the pumps are similar in design, which is to say they have a motor and a pump head, or a dry and a wet side. But on the new pump, this pump head area has substantially less material. And I've noticed, although I can't really reproduce this on video, that this area right in here tends to swell upon startup. It returns to its normal size once it's initially started up, but it just for a moment seems to push out. You can't really see it with the video lens, as I just said, but to the naked eye it's very visible. Now let's look at the pump that it replaced. This is a PB4 Polaris booster pump that was installed in 2001. It's been trouble-free until a week ago. On the motor head here, you can see from the label that it says it was actually manufactured in January 2001. That's pretty impressive considering. This is the pump head. Now, this pump's obviously weathered. These pumps are going to sit outside 24/7, 365. They're going to look weathered after some years. But the material here, it's just thicker. It's a broader, just more bulky design. And I've never noticed this pump head upon startup having any flex, any swell, nothing. It's just solid. Now, back to the new pump and the new pump head. It just simply moves out some. I don't know if it's a structural issue, if it's going to weaken the structure over time, but I primarily was willing to go straight back to a Polaris booster pump because 14 years, that's just incredible. Why wouldn't you go back when you get that kind of trouble-free service for that many years? It's kind of a no-brainer. One of the other complaints I have about this new pump is I had also recently replaced my old pool pump, and when I replaced that pool pump was much quieter, much more refined, and it was a welcome relief. However, this new Polaris pool pump is loud as ever. It's only as loud as the pump that it replaced, but there's been no revision as far as sound. Now, there is another Zodiac model that's actually the attribute to that model is actually, it says it's quiet. It's a Zodiac PB4-60Q, and I guess the Q stands for quiet. I didn't consider that model because, one, it was considerably more expensive, and after talking to the Zodiac customer service representative, he informed me that that model was actually being discontinued. I don't really want something that's being discontinued should I have problems installed on my pull system. So that quickly helped me make a decision as far as that pump goes. But I was kind of relying, maybe perhaps had high hopes, that this pump would be more refined and more quiet. But it's simply not. I'm going to turn on my pull pump first. And it's going to be somewhat louder than the noise that we're hearing right now from the background. But I'm going to do that to show you just how much louder this pump is once it's turned on. You will notice that the pull pump that I will turn on in a moment will be drowned out once I turn on this pump. I will show you, or attempt to show you, how this kind of swells out, but it's just probably not going to show up through the video lens. But I assure you, with a naked eye, this area swells. So let's take a look at the noise level upon startup. First, I will turn on my pull pump, and then I will turn on the Polaris booster pump. While it's doubtful that you were able to see the swelling of the pump head when I turned it on, it was likely very obvious that this is a loud pump, and that is a disappointment. However, the performance of this pump is the same as the pump that it replaced, and that perhaps is the most important attribute to this pump. I recommend this pump. I do feel it's been cheapened a little bit as far as the build quality. Hopefully the motor will last as long. But this pump head just gives me some concerns. I suspect had this pump head and motor looked similar, and I hadn't noticed that this pump head was swelling a little bit upon startup, that I would not have subtracted 1 star from my review. I would have given it a full 5-star review. But because of that, I did subtract 1 star. It was really the swelling of this pump head, the less material, the reduced the manufacturing cost, but that and the lack of revision of the actual noise of this pump caused me to reduce 1 star. Maybe it's unwarranted, but if I get 14 years from this pump as I did the pump it replaced, it's obviously a 5-star product. Only time will tell. Thank you for watching my review.